I absolutely do, and maybe not for the same reason that most people do. Cloud in and of itself is theoretically just a transfer of what we do today from traditional infrastructure into cloud infrastructure. So if you were to look at it like that, then it should be one-to-one. Whatever we do today, we just do tomorrow, but we do it on cloud. And then because cloud is more efficient from a use of hardware standpoint, we might actually use less. But here's the key takeaway I get from where the industry is going. And I use some historical precedent to come up with this hypothesis. The historical precedent is called Jevons paradox. Jevons paradox, in a nutshell, basically spells out that as a resource becomes more widely available and more cost effective, it doesn't just get used at the same amount and people save money, people actually use much more of it. I see cloud being an enabler for more people to use more IT in new ways. As more people use more IT in new ways, they find new ways to use IT. So I see cloud really accelerating the growth of data centers and IT in general because of the fact that we're going to find thousands and thousands, millions of new ways to deliver IT to people that never had it before in chunks that they can afford, and enable home usage to school, folks going to college, to small businesses to be able to use tools that heretofore had really only been available to very large enterprises. I see more and more CIOs looking at outsourcing their data center capacity, and not because they want to outsource specifically, but because they see that building data centers is not a core competency, right? It's not where they want to tie up capital. They'd rather have their OpEx and CapEx available for more strategic opportunities. And they're looking at data centers as more kind of manufacturing capacity now than historically maybe it's been considered. So if you think about the vast majority of enterprises today, very few of them do all of their own manufacturing. Even the ones that do some manufacturing have partners that do much of the scale for them. And that reduces their risk, allows them to scale when they need to, both up and down, and it puts them in a position to be prepared for changes in business climate or the introduction of new products. And the data center is no different. The other thing is that there are a significant number of technologies that are changing how data centers are owned and how they're designed. And that's making the complexity of the ownership go much higher, right? So I see the major trends affecting what happens to the data centers. I see growth because of what we talked about earlier, the relative to cloud and Jevons paradox. I see growth because I see more companies making the decision to not run their own data centers. And I also see regulations and complexity convincing others that they're much better off letting someone else whose professional role it is to build and manage data centers do it for them.